So it looks like we're live now on YouTube, social media, social media is YouTube once again. And this is absolutely free, this testimony. I am not one to ask you to subscribe to me or to click on the like button or whatever they do. I'm not into your money. If I was into money, then I'd be like all those that before me. I would be false. I'm merely using this device. I'm going to also go now over to Facebook, and we're going to use that device so I can announce as we're now on Facebook. According to the monitor, we are live on Facebook. And just as I was saying a few moments ago on YouTube, social media, I'm not into your money. I'm not looking for money, fame, glory, honor from no one. I'm here for a reason. I'm here because of prophetical reasons that are being fulfilled. With that said, I'm going to greet everyone who's with me today with Shalom, Boca Shalom,
Boba Shalom.
which is a peaceful morning here on the East Coast of the United States of America. And we're in a state called Florida. And the city that's known as Miami, the most infamous city in Florida. And we're here for a few reasons, opposed to fulfilling prophecy. We're here as part of prophecy. And we're also here to gather our people together. I'm here to gather the people together. The gathering of the people shall be today, as was promised in prophecy, according to the book called Genesis, the first book of the Bible. Speaking of Bibles, if you're going to join us today, I'm asking that you take out a Bible. The most preferred would be the King James Version, 1611 Authorized Edition of the Holy Bible, King James Version. And if you do not have that version, then whatever you may have, even if it's the Gideon version, that's the closest replica to King James Authorized 1611 edition, not the new King James Version, the King James Version. Take out your Strong's and Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. And also take out a dictionary if you have one. If not, over my head in the back of it, you should see a monitor. And we may share a dictionary with you on that monitor. We may also share a Bible if you don't have one, if you read with us. And we'll also share with you our concordance, Strong's Concordance. But what you should have, if you don't have any of those books or study materials, is an ink pen or a pencil to write with, and something to write on, a sheet of paper, a notepad. Even if you have junk mail that you received in the mail, to write on the back of that junk mail envelope. Just take notes, so that when we're done, you can go on your own, according to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15, and study them. In fact, these facts for yourself. Study them on your own. And you will see that every single word that comes out of my mouth is absolutely true, righteous, moral, and correct. But we come before you today with another revelation of revelations, testimonies, and seals that will be loosed today, as promised by my Father. As I introduce to you on that note of Father, my Father is known as God. On this entire planet, he's known as a title. That title is God. He's also known by many appellations. Along with God, they call him the Lord, all caps, the Lord, the mighty God. He's also known as the Most High. And they added other appellations and names they've given him the most infamous, the oldest would be the Tetragrammaton that the Phoenicians copied. But the Tetragrammaton is created by three Hebrew characters. Of course, one of the three is positioned twice, which is He, the fifth Hebrew symbol or character. So from right to left, he is most infamously known in Hebraic or Hebrew as Yod He Wav He. And the English came along and transliterated that to become YHWH. They added two vowels, the A and the E, and to gain a pronunciation that they call today Yahweh. And then Charles Russell came along back in 1898, sometime around then. Charles Russell and created his own God based on that name and changed the Y to a J or the E. And he created from that appellation his God is known as Jehovah. And he then recruited witnesses after that, of which today they are known as Jehovah's Witnesses or Jehovah Witnesses of Charles Russell. Then the Greeks came along and called him Zeus. They created their own god, Zeus, along with the Chinese who created Buddha, the Hindus of Hinduism, of Hare Krishna, the Arabs of Ishmael as Allah. All nations made a name of their own. As they made these names, they created their own God, according to 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 29. Or 1 Kings. One of those kings, 1 Kings and 2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 29. All nations created gods of their own. And they put them in the houses of the high places that the Samaritans had made. Every nation wherein they dwelt in their own cities, their own states and countries. But to us, we know that there's but one God, one. There's one God who created all the other gods. My Father, Ma'ab in Hebrew, is the God of all gods. He is Lord of all lords. He is King of all kings. He's great, he's good, he's mighty, and he is also terrible. And you can confirm that in the book called Deuteronomy of the Old Testament, chapter 10 and verse 17. We know him as life, Yod. He is the life of all that exists. He created life. So that is who my Father is. I'm known in the Bible as Micah, and that's what he called me when he came to me here in Miami, Dade County, Florida, in 1979. When I came to him in 1979, in front of a congregation of people, I stood before him, and he called me Micah. He still does. And you didn't hear a word I just said when I said I stood before him. So perhaps maybe that should be the first thing you write down in your notes, the word before, B-E-F-O-R-E. B-E-F-O-R-E, before. That way you can get a keen comprehension, and those who continue to stand under Satan, the devil, you can get understanding of the word before. And I said before me, and you can go to the scripture, it's in John chapter 10. Before me were thieves and robbers. And before me are thieves and robbers. And my Father said that there's someone who we come to witness that you preferred before him. You have no idea what that meant. Well, I'm giving you a hint now that I stood before him in 1979, and that's who you preferred. You preferred me before him.
Yeah.
Because I stood before him. I didn't come before him, and you would not see that in the word. You did not see in the word. He said there was one who came before me, whom you prefer. Go to it. Go to John chapter 1. And let's get that understanding out and comprehension for some others. Go to John chapter 1, start at verse 1. We have a reader. You can read with us. If you do not read with us, then we're going to share our Bible with you. You look over my head and back of me, and you'll see our big Bible. It's a great big Bible on our monitor. Great big Bible. You see how big it is? Read that starting at verse 1.
John chapter 1, verse 1, quote, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God."
Now that God is my Father, and the Word was with God. I was always with my Father, even from the beginning, even from everlasting. I was with my Father. My Father came down incognito as well. My Father came down and from his throne of the Gregorian calendar year known as 1935, which is our calendar of 5938 solar time. And then 19 years later, I came down of the solar year 5957. Now, there's no way that I could have come before him because 1935 and 1954, one exceeds the other. Go to the dictionary as you stop there for a moment on that chapter and verse and look up the word before. Let's get a definition of the word before we get to where we go into before. So look up before according to whatever dictionary, Merriam-Webster's, Collegiate, Cambridge Dictionary.com. What do you have for before?
We have during the period of time preceding a particular event or time.
That's what you have? Anything else?
For number 2, we have in front of someone or something.
So which one were you thinking? Go back to the Bible for a moment. As I was saying a moment ago, my Father came out of a gateway of a pearl that he created on Sunday, October 27th, 1935. And then he brought me out. He brought me forth before him. He brought me forth to stand before him on Monday, September 27th, 1954. That's 9/27 according to your calendar and 10/27. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
And I came out as Saul. Another appellation. I came out as Saul. I came out with the meaning of Saul. He came out with the meaning of God. Now you have a concordance on that screen. We're still in John chapter 1. Now, we're not going to leave that. You put a marker there. We're taking some steps. I'm leading you to righteousness for my name's sake. As we walk through this valley right now in the shadow of death. Because death is right here, waiting. And you're right in the shadow of it. You would not come to me. So I was told and commanded by my Father to warn you that this death is here. And right now you are walking in the shadow of it. But we're going to give you a chance to come out of it before the shadow, before the death is overpowered by the physical, the flesh opposing the shadow that's hovering above this planet right now, inside of it. It's called celestial crafts. So with that said, you have on the screen? Concordance. Okay. I'm going to take you through another precept. Go to Chronicle. Go to 1 Samuel for a moment. My father came out of the womb October 27th. That's 10/27, right?
Mm-hmm.
I came out September 27th. That's 9/27. So you have 9/27 and 10/27. According to the calendar, it's in that order because that 9 comes before 10.
Right.
That's not the same as standing before him.
Oh.
But that's the same as coming before him in the calendar. 9 comes before him, right? 9 comes before 10. Okay. See, this was written, it was preordained by prophecy to come in that order. So that we would come and fulfill all the angles and definitions of before. Whether it be literal, spiritual, allegorical, prophetical, metaphorical, even symbolical. Now you have 1 Samuel chapter 9. Go to chapter 9. We're not going to read the whole chapter. I'm giving you something to study. It's not our subject. I'm introducing to you who we are, who I am, and the purpose for Passover. And my people right now are getting ready to celebrate a Passover, of which this testimony is being dedicated to them. Do you have 1 Samuel chapter 9?
Yeah.
When you read this chapter, before you got to it, chapter 8, you'll see that my father went to Samuel and told him in his ear, and you can read it this chapter, that he's going to send someone to him, to Samuel. And Samuel must ordain the one who he sends to him as a captain over the people to deliver the children of Israel. That man was named, according to this word, Saul. Samuel was told by the God of the Hebrews to ordain Saul to become the captain, to be ruler over the people. And Samuel went so far to do that, but he was jealous of doing that because he wanted to be the captain and the ruler of the people. I'm not making it up. Go on down to read. I'll show you. It's there. Go down to around verse 4. Read verse 4. 1 Samuel. You're gonna make a note of this and read the whole chapter on your own. This is not the subject. This is reading. This is getting to the core of the subject. Read verse 4.
1 Samuel 9:4, quote.
Actually, read verse 2.
Verse 2. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man, and a goodly. And there was not among the children of Israel
A goodly?
Yeah.
A goodly man. Go ahead.
And there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he.
Are you sure? Is that what the Bible is saying? Okay. And
from his shoulders and upward, he was higher than any of the people.
That's the mind. You didn't know that.
Mm-mm.
You didn't know that of the name Saul.
Wow.
It's not the name that you should be focused on. It's the meaning of the name.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take you here so when we get to a certain point of John chapter 1, you'll be prepared and wouldn't fall out of your seat. Now read verse 4. Read on. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. And the asses of Kish, Saul's father, were lost.
Those asses of Kish are right here now. All of them. There was 3 then. There are 4 now. It's the 4th tribe of Judah. So there are 4 asses. today. There was only 3 then, now there's 4. Judah, all of my asses. But some can be found. They can. Read on.
And Kish said to Saul his son, take now one of the servants with thee,
And what?
and arise.
And do what?
Go seek the asses.
And here I am today in Miami, today, seeking the asses and telling them to come. You're going to hear a few moments of it. My father also told them to come way back in the 90s. Come to Saul. That's another one of my appellations. Not the name, the meaning of the name. As well as he still calls me Micah. But one of my appellations is Saul.
Wow.
Read verse 4 and see. I come from Mount Ephraim.
And
What?
he passed through Mount Ephraim and passed through the land of Shalisha, but they found them not. Then they passed through the land of Shalim, and there they were not. And he passed through the land of the Benjamites, but they found them not.
Now, if you read Judges chapter 17 and verse 1, put a note there. You got to have a lot of markers because we're going for a walk. Just go briefly to Micah, to Judges chapter 17 and read verse 1, so you can see who Micah also is and where he's from in historical times.
Judges 17:1, quote, and there was a man of Mount Ephraim.
A man of what?
Of mount Ephraim.
Of Mount Ephraim, not from there. This of is referring to 1 Samuel chapter 9. The same man. He's being called Micah. Back then he was also being called Saul.
Wow.
Whose name was what?
Whose name was Micah.
Right. Another appellation. Now go back to 1 Samuel. Actually, before you leave there, read verse 6. Actually, read verse 5.
Verse 5, quote, and the man Micah had an house of gods and made an ephod and a teraphim.
He's with him now. And what?
And consecrated one of his sons who became his priest.
Read on.
Verse 6. In those days there was no king in Israel.
Why?
But every man did that which was right in his own eyes.
That's what they're doing today. And those are the same asses that were lost that Saul went looking for. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now go back to 1 Samuel. And we left off at
verse 5.
Verse 5.
Verse 5, quote, and when they were come to the land of Zuph, Saul said to his servant that was with him, come, and let us return, lest my father leave caring for the asses, and take thought for us.
Okay, read on.
Verse 6.
Verse 6.
And he said unto him, behold now, there is in this city a man of God.
Excuse me? And what?
And he
make sure you make a note of that. Now you have to remember this, because I'm taking through a walk. You're walking through the valley of the shadow of death. And what?
And he is an honorable man. All that he saith comes surely to pass.
Now that
well, we know who that is.
That you should know. Read on.
Now let us go thither. Peradventure, he can show us our way that we should go. Verse 7. Then said Saul to his servant, but behold, if we go, what shall we bring the man? For the bread is spent in our vessels, and there is not a present to bring to the man of God. What have we?
Read 8. Go read on.
Verse 8. And the servant answered Saul again and said, behold, I have here at hand the 4th part of a shekel of silver. That will I give to the man of God to tell us our way.
Read on. 8, 9.
Before time.
Now I want you to notice that in verse 9 in my Bible, you have an open parenthesis after 9.
Yeah,
At the end of that verse, it should be a closed parenthesis.
it is.
That's a footnote. That's letting you know that something happened from the time that the man who seemed to have been from God and knew everything and everything he said would come to pass. At that time, the God of the Hebrews went to that man and took it out of that man to put it inside Saul.
Mm.
Read, you'll see.
Verse
Read.
9. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God,
It's called a seer. Go read on.
thus he spake, Come, and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet before time, called a seer.
Right. See, go ahead. It's building up. That means he saw something, a seer. That means the man saw God. He saw God. 10.
Then said Saul to his servant, Well said, come, let us go. So they went unto the city where the man of God was.
Read on 11.
And as they went up the hill to the city, they found young maidens going out to draw water, and said unto them, Is the seer here?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And they answered them and said, He is. Behold, he is before you.
See? What you mean he's before you?
Go to before.
There goes that before again. What do you think? Because 9 comes before 10, you think he's before you?
Mm.
No, he was standing right there before them. Let's prove that. Go to your Strong's Concordance. Now, you looked in the dictionary, and the second meaning that you found was standing right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go to your concordance and type in before. And let's see if that has anything that does with coming in prehistoric or pre-time. Coming in pre-time beforehand. Like, 9 come before 10. As it's September come before October.
Right.
And yet, my father came before me. So you have the concordance? Type in the word B-E-F-O-R-E. That told you to write down your notes. Now, it should appear so many times. How many times does it appear?
1,700.
1,700 what?
98 times.
98 times. Now, see if it's found in 1 Samuel chapter 9 at verse 12. And see if there's a meaning right next to it that says H6440. I don't know. I studied this already. See if you have H6440. I have my back to it, so I'm going to be relying on you to tell me the truth.
We don't.
H6440. Click on it and see if it's coming before prehistoric time. See if it means coming before time. Or it means face, standing before you in your face.
Panim.
Panim. Face.
Face.
Face. Yeah. You see things said before time?
Before, in front of.
Oh, before in front of?
Yeah, before time.
Huh?
From before time.
From before time? Yeah, they have to put that there to go along with the dictionary, the first definition.
Mm.
Just like we're going to share with you in a few moments how they have my people looking at Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread as if it was before time.
Mm.
That come before time. And here it is before you. Passover right here before you. In your face, because your Lord is your Passover. But they go ready. Yeah, I'm going to prove it's right there. See, they have no idea what the meaning of Passover is or what caused it. Now go back to 1 Samuel and pick up that verse.
We still at verse 12.
12. Make haste now.
Okay. Make haste now, for he came today to the city, for there is a sacrifice of the people today in the high place.
Well, you want to know what that sacrifice was? Read verse 13. Let's see. I mean, they may not say it, but I know what it was. Read it.
As soon as ye be come into the city, ye shall straightway find him, before he go up to the high place to eat. For the people will not eat until
to eat
he
a certain bread. See, they will not eat before he come. Right? Now, Why? It was forbidden for them to do that. It was forbidden. Now write that down. Write down. Follow my instructions now. On your paper, write down F-O-R-E. Actually, write down F-O-R-B-I-D-D-E-N. F-O-R-B-I-D-D-E-N. What you have? Forbidden. Now go to your Strong Concordance. And get a search box. Get a blank search box. You have one? Now type it in. F-O-R-B-I-D-D-E-N. What I am doing now in sight of those who are watching on this social media website, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, I'm revealing a promise that I gave to Jacob and his sons. I preserved it for today simply by using the names of the sons, not the sons, they're not here. I preserved the names of each son to fulfill prophecy of the day, to announce my coming and my presence of the day before you, in your face. That you preferred me. You can't prefer my father because you always preferred him. He's God.
Right.
But you prefer me. Well, right in his face, in your face. What do you have? What do you have?
We have it occurring 3 times in 3 verses.
Forbidden.
Forbidden.
Only 3 times?
Okay.
Click on it. What does it mean?
We have it once in Deuteronomy 4:23 under H 6680.
What's the meaning? 6680.
And it means to command.
To command.
Charge, give orders.
To give order. To charge and give order. To who? Only a captain can command and charge and give order. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But these orders were to be given at night. Some were given in the morning and some were given at night. Those that were given in the morning are those who came to the light and now they can see the light. And they're walking down with being the light in the morning. But then there are some that are walking in darkness still, and their orders will be given at night. So I'm dividing the morning from the night. Our days begin at night, at sundown, and they end at sundown. So the morning, so the evening and the morning were the first day. And now we're in the third day. We're in the third day with the last son, the 12th son, Benjamin. I use Benjamin to hide the forbidden because actually, now go back. Now, when I reveal this, at the time I revealed this, there would be a Pharaoh in Egypt of the spiritual land, the land that spiritually be called Egypt. There would be a Pharaoh who would be forbidden. He would carry the appellation of being forbidden. What's the meaning of forbidden again?
To command.
He would be a commandment and an order. He'd be called the commander in chief. And he would even give orders for a strike to hit Syria. They can't do anything without that man as a commander. The commander in chief to give orders to the military. It'll be for him. But he would be the Pharaoh over the 4th tribe of Israel. That's known as Judah. The 4th ass. So go back to your search box. You have forbidden. Come out of it and go to it like you're going to write it again or type it. You have forbidden. Separate the R from the B.
Mm-hmm.
You have it?
Yeah.
Take away the fourth tribe. Take away one of those D's out of there, which is the fourth tribe, the fourth ass. Who do you have now? For Biden. This testimony today is being dedicated to Biden.
Yeah.
This is for Biden. Why? Because Benjamin is here. And that means that this man that you know and you read now, we're going to go back to 1 Samuel, who you think is Saul, is here for Benjamin. He's carried the appellation of Benjamin.
Wow.
You hear me? Put your finger on, you have 1 Samuel?
Yeah.
Now go back to Genesis chapter 49 for a moment. My father came out of the womb, according to that calendar, on the 27th day of that month, October 27th. I came out of my gateway on September 27th. He came out October 27th. I came out September 27th. And when I revealed Benjamin, 27 would be in full power. Read verse 27 of Genesis chapter 49.
Benjamin shall raven as
Who?
a wolf. Benjamin
Shall raven as a wolf for Biden. That what you have?
Yeah.
And
in the morning.
In the morning. And raven as a wolf means at war. It's a war. What else? What? And what?
In the morning he shall devour the prey.
And that's exactly what he's doing. Why? He's the son of the right hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the name Benjamin means.
Yeah.
He is the son of the right hand. So since he is the son of the right hand, let's set the record straight for those who think that he's Democrat. He's a publican.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me? He is a publican, not a Republican. He didn't reappear today to be a Republican, but he's an ancient publican for the right hand of Hallel, the devil, Satan. And while you think the former president is no longer president, he has a right hand in the office now, who's continuing the will of Pharaoh. Why? It's called under the Constitution, they're sworn in as president to continue the will of Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So now he's the right hand. Why? He was put right in office. Got it?
Okay.
That was Benjamin, the right hand. Read on.
Continue verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
And at night.
At night. And what?
He shall divide the spoil.
Right. And he's doing that. And I'm using the appellation of Benjamin to do the same thing. Who? Saul. What verse is that?
27.
Now go back to 1 Samuel chapter 9. 27. First Samuel. And you left off at?
Still in verse 13.
13. See 13, ma'am.
I'll continue in verse 13.
Continue verse 13.
Because he doth bless the sacrifice, and afterwards they eat that be bidden.
That be bidden. See the bidden? You got to look up bidden, but this is for Biden. It's forbidden without the D, because the D is the fourth tribe. Fourth. Huh? Aleph, Beth, Gimel, Dalet. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth ass that were lost. And now Saul is out looking for them. Read it.
Now therefore get you up, for about this time ye shall find him.
Now, did you look up, go to the search box and go to bidden? Bidden. Look it up. What does it mean? This is the first place in the Bible you're going to find bidden that you just read in 1 Samuel chapter 9
We have it under H7120.
and verse 13. You do?
13. Okay.
Okay. Click on it. Where does it take you? The first place.
Our first place is 1 Samuel.
It's 1 Samuel 9:13.
Okay.
Right. What does it mean? What's the meaning? Make notes now. Take notes.
To call.
I'm called to what?
To call.
I'm calling him. I'm calling the fourth ass. I'm looking for the fourth ass. The three asses were already found thousands of years ago. Now today, a fourth ass is lost from my father. My father sent me looking for these asses. What else you have?
Call out.
I'm calling them out. I'm calling out for them to come back. Come back to Miami, where my father left you, where he gathered you from 1979 to 2007. Even 50 days after the feast, I'm going to show you. What else?
Cry out.
I'm crying out to them on Facebook and YouTube today, which is the 18th day of the first month of our solar year. 6,026 for the record. This is the 18th day. We're not the 18th day of the first month. 6,026 or March 28th, 2023 for the record. Tuesday, March 28th, 2023 for the record. So you can see this is not recorded. Something happened back in 2011. Today. Anything else?
Utter a loud sound.
It's a loud sound, my voice. It was prophesied that the day will come when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Man, and those that hear shall live. What else?
We have call, and in parentheses,
what?
With name of God.
With the name of God. That means they must come, as I'm telling them, to come and write their name to be found in the Lamb's Book of Life. But they won't come to Mika. Even after my father told them to come to Mika. Call me Mika in their face. Who's also Saul, also known as Joshua, also known as the Morasite, also known as the Son of Man, also known as the Christ, also known as Passover, also known as Shalomo, also known as Shimshon, also known as the tabernacle, also known as the ark. One man, one soul, the same, according to Acts chapter 1 and verse 11. The same one, the same yesterday, the same today, and the same forever, for Eber. Go back now, read verse 14. Wait, you were done with the meaning?
We have plenty more.
Oh, you got. I think we got the foundation.
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
Go backwards to the search box. You got it? Now, when you get to the search box, you have Biden.
Yeah.
Okay, now put 4 in front of that. FOR. Like you spell forbidden. Now, you have forbidden. Did we look at forbidden already?
We looked up forbidden, but we haven't looked at it separated.
No, but we looked at it together, and we have forbidden. It was what? The meaning. You were taking notes.
To command.
To command. Now you had it together. Now separate the R and the F, right? And then take out the D. See if we can get forbidden out of this somewhere. Let's see if the Bible will allow us to say forbidden. It's being dedicated for Biden. Would it let us take it? Would it take us to any Bible for Biden?
No.
Why? Because Biden don't believe in the Bible. That's why he won't come to meet me. That's why he would not come to meet me. That's why he refused to meet us when we went to Washington, D.C. in late September of 2022. We walked in the White House. We were there for several minutes, and he refused to come out to meet with me. Why? He don't want the world to know. They think that they can go on and on and on in power. They do not believe in the Bible, and they do not believe that this world is coming to its end. If they believed in the Bible, then they would believe the world is coming to its end, their rulership is coming to its end. They would believe in me, and they would not paint pictures of some white boy with blonde hair, blue eyes, to let the people prolong to believe that that's their Jesus and Savior, and He's coming, but not yet. We have to go through some more elections, and we have to build some more houses and buildings first, and we have to do all kinds of things that we like to do first in our rulership. We have to get rich, and we have to make the world go on and make America great again before Jesus comes. We're going to make America great again. We got to see our kids graduate from college. And my wife just had a baby, and I'm going to be here to see my baby graduate from high school and eventually get married. So we have plenty of time. Don't believe that man who goes on YouTube and Facebook and calls himself Mika, calls himself the Son of Man. Don't believe him. This world is going to go on. And those lights that you see at night, they are meteors that are breaking up into the ozone. They're coming in through the Earth atmosphere, breaking up. They are satellites that were launched years ago. And they finally are breaking up and coming back. So when you see them, don't be alarmed. They're just breaking up. It's just lights coming through the orbit. It's okay. They probably fall. They're not going to fall in your house. They're already programmed to fall into the ocean. So it would hit anybody or hurt anyone's land or houses or the people. And if the tornadoes that are coming, that's nature. It happens every year. The tornadoes that tore up Mississippi, they happens like that. It's just nature. Don't worry. Don't you hear me? I said Jesus helped them. And didn't He help them? Didn't He help them? He helped them. He could have tore up the whole state, but He only tore up a little town and killed up just a little bit of people. It could have been another zero added on to that 6. It could have been 260 people. But we called Jesus and He helped us that we would not lose 27 or 28 people. Not realizing that it was Jesus who caused it. Right. The same one who they called Jesus, the one who caused the tornado. Go back now. So we can't get for Biden. Yeah, because they don't believe in the Bible. But if you put that D back and see if we can get it forbidden. And see if we don't take it to the same verse and chapter of 1 Samuel. Forbidden. See if that's not the first place it takes you.
It does.
The same first place. It's forbidden. I'm dedicating this testimony today for Biden. Without the D. Because it's the D that I'm looking for. The lost D. The 4th tribe of asses. The 4th ass. Go back to 1 Samuel. Now read verse 14.
Verse 14, quote, "And they went up into the city, and when they were come into the city, behold, Samuel came out against them."
See, he came out against them, not for them, but to meet them. And Samuel's doing that today. He coming out against them. He's coming out against Saul and the men that are with him. Against them. And what?
For to go up to the high place.
See, Samuel wants to go up high. To the high place. Read verse 15.
Now the Lord had told
Samuel. This is a parenthesis. Now the Lord will tell Samuel sometime in the future. Is that what you read? Read the...
Now the Lord had told Samuel.
The Lord might tell Samuel.
Had told Samuel.
What he told him?
In his ear.
In his face.
In his ear.
In his ear so no one else would hear it. He told him in his ear.
Yeah.
What?
A day before Saul came, saying.
Wait, he told Samuel in his ear before Saul came back from the Bahamas that a day is coming. A day before Saul came. Now that before is before time. That's why they gave you that definition too, the meaning. Verse 16, what?
Tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. There's a future time that's coming of tomorrow. About what?
About this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin.
See Benjamin? Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. That will divide the spoil and divide the night from the day. Benjamin. The name that we're using. I will send you my right-hand man. Benjamin. I will send you the right-hand man. My right hand. To look for the asses that are lost. And him, read it.
And thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel.
Right. You don't pretend like you don't know no one was coming after Yahweh ben Yahweh. And yet he told you in your ear. What ear? Your ear you were listening to his recordings and his tapes. That ear. He told you in your ear privately while you were listening to the recordings and videos that you were listening to. But you wouldn't hear it. What else?
That he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines.
Right. All of those are the Americans today. And at one time, he was listening to me and joined us on telestudy because he knew who the man was. But after a while, after he seen the power and the wisdom from the shoulder up, he couldn't deal with that. Wanted to take the glory for himself. Read.
For I have looked upon my people, because their cry is come unto me.
Right. 17.
And when Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said unto him, Behold the man whom I spake to thee of.
Right. When he saw me on social media, this is the man I spoke to you of. And what?
This same shall reign over my people.
You got it? The same man. Read verse 18.
Then Saul drew near to Samuel in the gate and said, Tell me, I pray thee.
See, Samuel didn't know it at the time, but Saul knew. Saul knew, but Samuel didn't know. Saul knew a lot of things, and Samuel we wanted to make things Samuel think he did not know. But Saul already knew because the Lord raised him, not his father. The Lord raised Samuel, not Kish. See, Kish is his father, but the kiss is what raised Samuel, what raised Saul. The kiss, not Kish. The kiss. Why? Because Sheen was left to the east. Seed came over here in the west. So you got Kiss, not Kish. And my father did kiss me. Even as we met for the last time, face to face, before face, in 1992. Read on.
I pray thee, tell me, I pray thee, where the seer's house is. Verse 19. And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer.
I'm the seer. I'm greater than you are. I'm the one who can see. Read on what?
Go up before me unto the high place.
See, go before me into the high place. And what?
For ye shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will let thee
in the
go.
Future. If we did, and what?
And will tell thee all that is in thine heart.
20.
And as for thine asses that were lost 3 days ago,
where are they? Read them.
Set not thy mind on them.
Why?
For they are found.
Right here with me, the United States. I found them. Even the fourth ass, right here with me. And what?
And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on thee, and on all thy father's house?
21.
And Saul answered and said, Am not I a Benjamite?
The right hand of my arm? Of the what?
Of the smallest
of the least tribe? Of the tribe of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, which are the least of Israel.
Yeah.
Huh? Put your finger there, let's prove it.
Yeah.
Go to Micah chapter 5. You read verse. We're gonna read verse 2, but verse 1 is another subject we're coming up in a few moments. You want to know how they smote the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek? That was the crucifixion, and they did that. Matthew 26. You didn't know that. That tells you who Micah is. I told you Micah is the same as the Christ. Read verse 2.
Micah 5:2 quote. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah,
yeah.
though thou be little among
though thou be the little, though thou be the what? Though thou be little among the thousands of Israel, Benjamin, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, of 1 Samuel chapter 9, to be captain over them. There it is, hidden. So I'm revealing a lot of secrets. I was told I would do that. You were told I would do that when I come. My op said in his office in 1986. I was 1900 years too early. I'm not now, because now we're over 2023. Who's going forth has been from of old, from everlasting. From everlasting. That's before all of you, but not before my Ab. But I stood before him. That's before and before, not before and after. Before and before. Now go back to 1 Samuel. And we were 21 again.
Samuel 9:21 quote, and Saul answered and said, am not I a Benjamite of the smallest of the tribes of Israel?
Now I'll reveal that to you today. Because chapter 5 verse 2.
And my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Wherefore then speakest thou so to me?
Now when you look at it again, when you go back to Micah chapter 5 verse 2, among the thousands of Judah said, yeah, that means there'll be a small group would be with me that be called me known as the Benjamites. Because there'd be few of the men that were called, but a few chosen. We were 22.
And Samuel took Saul and his servant and brought them into the parlor and made them sit in the chiefest place among them that were bidden, which were about 30 persons.
30. That's go ahead. That's the third day. 30. 23.
And Samuel said unto the cook, bring the portion which I gave thee, of which I said unto thee, set it by thee. Verse 24. And the cook took up the shoulder and that which was upon it.
That's the shoulder of the lamb, of the meat. We are not to eat the hind of any animal. If you choose to eat red meat, there's certain animals that you're allowed to eat according to Leviticus chapter 11 and Deuteronomy chapter 16. But we don't eat the front, we don't eat the red part, the back part of any animal. And that especially includes a lamb. So if you read anything else that we go into in a few moments, it's a lie. We are not to eat a whole lamb. Read on.
And set it before Saul. And Samuel said, behold that which is left. Set it before thee and eat. For unto this time hath it been kept for thee, since I said, I have invited the people. So Saul did eat with Samuel that day. Verse 25. And when they were come down from the high place into the city, Samuel communed with Saul upon the top of the house.
He didn't anoint him yet. We were 26.
And they arose early, and it came to pass about the spring of the day, that Samuel called Saul to the top of the house, saying, up, that I may send thee away.
What?
And Saul arose, and they went out, both of them, he and Samuel, abroad.
27.
And as they were going down to the end of the city, Samuel said to Saul, bid the servant pass on before us. And he passed on. But stand thou still a while, that I may show thee the word of God.
It is there?
That's it.
How many verses?
27.
What chapter?
9.
That's a 9:27. Go to the next chapter 10. Let's turn to the next chapter 10. This is the chapter where he told Saul, you know, we're not going to read it, but you can read it on your own. Write it down and study it. In this chapter, he told Saul what God told him. You're going to be captain. Of all of Israel, you're going to be captain. And save my children, save my people. So that means what? Samuel knew it.
Right.
What chapter you have?
Chapter 10.
Look at the last verse. Don't tell me it's 27.
It is.
It's not a coincidence. That means he was not anointed in chapter 9. Why? Because chapter 10 didn't get here yet. In chapter 10, he was anointed because the Father had to be here to anoint him. That's October, now back to September. Now you're going backwards. Right?
Yeah.
Now go back to John chapter 1. What does the name Saul mean? No, don't guess. Go to the search box. You're reading Saul and have no idea what the name means. You have no idea what the name means. You read it and don't know what Saul means. Go to the search box.
Okay, we have a Saul under H7586.
And what's it mean? Should see one word in quotes. Saul.
Okay, desired.
Desired. In past tense.
Yeah.
Right? Desired in past tense.
Wow.
I'll go back to John chapter 1. You read verse 2. You read verse 1, right?
Yeah. John 1:2. Quote, the same was in the beginning with God.
Read on.
Verse 3. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
You got it? Read that again.
In him was life.
Who? And who here? You have two in verse 1. You have God and the Word that was with God. Read verse 2. Don't get lost. Read verse 2 again. Go back.
The same was in the beginning with God. Right.
Now you're dealing with God is God. One, my Father. There was someone with him. And it came down throughout this history of this world often. Both together. Where the Father was, the Son was there with him. And then sometime the Father would go back up and leave the Son down. See, leave the sun down. From sundown to sundown. Read on. What?
Verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not.
That light is talking to you right now, moving his lips in front of you and his mouth in front of you on this vision, on this social media's website, whether it be Facebook or YouTube. And what?
Verse 6. There was a man sent from God whose name was John.
Now, God was already here on the planet, and then he doubled himself up with an appellation that became John. Suddenly, in the face of a bunch of scribes in 1986, he told them, John is the man. John, right in their face, right before them. Right before them. As he sat before them and told them he's John. But yet, at the same time, he told his people he's God. So there's a man who was sent from God whose name was John in 1986, the same man. Who did what?
The same came for a
witness. I just told you. The same came for a witness. In verse 7. The same one. And what?
To bear witness.
To bear witness of the light. That's why he put on my book, I bear witness of the sun. To bear witness of the light. And what?
That all men through him
might believe. Because they're not. They might believe, but all men are not going to believe. That's why all men might believe. I'm not looking for those that might believe. I'm looking for those that do believe.
Right.
And when I find them, read on and see what's going to happen to them.
Verse 8. He was not that light.
See, John was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light.
Right.
What else?
Verse 9. That was the true light.
That was the true light. And that's what he told them. John's a man, but John can't bear witness of the true light. That light every man that comes to the world. Read on.
which lighteth every man that
Oh, I
cometh
thought you
into the
said that
world.
already. I thought you read that already. I didn't mean to jump ahead of you. I know it's in my soul to say it.
Mhm.
Read on.
Verse 10,
Mm-hmm.
he was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him
See,
not.
the world did not even know me, because most of the time I was in the Bahamas, but they knew my father, and they still claim they know him today.
Mhm.
But now I come back in 2007, and they don't know me. Who is this? Nobody coming after Yahweh ben Yahweh. Who is this? Call himself Mika. I did not call myself Mika. I don't call myself anything. My father calls me. Don't you? Did you read the definition just now? It's called desire.
Desire.
It's called desire. Let's read and see if it's there. Read.
Verse 11,
11.
he came unto his own,
And his own received him
not.
not. What?
Verse 12,
But
as many as received him,
to them
gave he power
to become the sons
of God.
as they write their name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Read on.
Even to them that believe
On his name. And that name has got to be powerful that you don't know of. I will reveal the name when I come back again, and here I am today, and I reveal the name. You see it on my forehead. If you look at this video, it's on my forehead that no man knew. According to Revelation chapter 19, verse 12, no one knew this name. Even Jacob asked my name. When he wrestled with me, I didn't tell him the name. Even Moshe wanted to know the name. I didn't tell Moshe the name. And Moshe didn't tell them the name when he came in 1979. He only told them Mika. He made mention of my name. Now you fulfill Isaiah chapter 49 in verse 1, 2, and 3. Make a note. Isaiah chapter 49 and verses 1, 2, and 3, and you'll see that he only made mention of my name, Mika. I mean, he mentioned one of my names. Read on.
Verse 13,
Mm-hmm.
which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh,
But what?
nor of the will of man, but of God.
Read on. 14.
Verse 14, and the word was made flesh.
Flesh. And did what?
And dwelt among us.
And what?
And we beheld his glory.
Now tell him who it is.
The glory as
of the only begotten of the Father.
That's it, full of grace and truth.
It couldn't be the Father who was begotten of the Father. How in the world could the Father be the only begotten of the Father? And yet they're putting artifacts and photoshops on Facebook and sketches of artists putting my father putting his hand on himself. What did you say? They're putting a sketch, not even a photograph, an artist sketch of the face, the body that the vessel that Bob used while he was here for 72 years. They put a sketch of him putting his hand on himself of the same face, as if he is a twin. Not realizing that they have blasphemed him by reversing the twins of Esau and Jacob to become himself.
Wow.
Two different nations.
Esau in the covenant.
They put Esau in the covenant by doing that. And it's bad enough that they call themselves Jews and they're not. Since when did God become a twin? That makes our motto a lie. What's our motto? Two gods, one mind, one love, and one action. That's what they just did when they do that. See, a person who does that smokes a lot. Smoke a lot. And they're showing a double-minded self, which is unstable in all its ways. Read on. Read verse 15.
Verse 15. John bare witness
What?
Of him, and cried, saying,
What?
This was he of whom I spake.
That what?
He that cometh after me is preferred before me.
You got it? Preferred before him.
Yeah. For he was before me.
You got it? He was before him, right there in the temple. They couldn't even see me. Why you think he told Enoch, when I was on the circle of 10, before I went out to the cities, my father told the captain of the circle of 10, Enoch, to put Mika right in front of me. And I sat right in front of him. And you can't see him in the recordings because they don't show it.
Right.
But I bear witness. And there were some who were there then, and here now. And they can hear this testimony, and they can say, he's right. He was a circle of 10, and he sat right before Yahweh in a chair. Why? So this could be fulfilled.
Mhm.
They didn't even know. My own received me. They didn't know me. I was in the world. They didn't know me. They didn't know me not. They knew me not. That you prefer. Now, what's a synonymous word for preferred? Desire.
Desire.
So go to and see. Go to preferred. Go to your concordance and put in preferred. This is how they spell it. Go to your search box, right? Type in PREFFERED, right? Or RRED,
Mhm. Sure.
two R's. And you should have something like 5 times. The first one's in Esther.
It is.
Yeah, get every one, every meaning.
In Esther we have
8138.
can.
What's it mean? Go to it.
To repeat, do again.
To repeat and do again.
Mm.
The same one. Huh?
Under the D we have to disguise oneself.
To disguise oneself. And he was. Incognito.
Mhm.
Preferred, right?
Can.
Now you have another one under H5329. Actually, go to H5330 first. And that would explain why I'm wearing something that's very distinguishable today.
Mhm.
That would explain the mystery. What do you have on? Something distinguishable. Why? Because I'm the one preferred,
Mhm.
the one desired. Go to H5330. What do you have?
To excel.
To excel at what?
To become chief.
Uh-huh.
No, that's Salaka. That's H5329.
I want 5330.
30 to excel, distinguish
Distinguish oneself.
Mhm.
Make a note of it. Now go to 5329H. And then you should see to be preeminent, be perpetual,
Can.
and an overseer, as I was told by Saul, that Saul would be by Samuel, right?
Mhm.
Also enduring. You see it?
Can.
It was the last one under the PR meaning.
To act as overseer or superintendent or director or chief.
Right. That comes from desired and preferred. That's from preferred.
On the previous page, under H5329, they also have preferred too.
They do?
Mhm.
You go back to it and look at it, make sure they see that.
Right there. To become chief, be preferred.
And be preferred. You see it as in the lexicon.
Okay.
The Hebrew Chaldea lexicon. I don't see it, but
yeah, it's right there. Okay.
Now go to John chapter 1, because that is the only place where it's found preferred in the first chapter of John. And that's verse 15, 27, and 30. You just read 15, right?
Okay.
Go to the concordance, type in
Mhm.
preferred. It's going to take you to the same chapter 1.
Yeah,
Now read September 27th and October 27th. Read verse 27.
Yeah.
October 27 is dominant today during this testimony.
Yeah.
Read verse 27. What's it say?
John 1:27 quote. He it is who coming after me is
No, how could no? No. Because I was told and you were told that nobody coming after Yahweh ben Yahweh.
Somebody coming after.
Somebody here.
Where did they get that from? From one another? Because the Bible says somebody coming after him. Who you prefer? Read and see it. Read it again. Start over.
He it is who coming after me is preferred before me.
Right. Because I stood right before him. There it is again. If I did not explain the word before, you would know what that means.
Right. Exactly.
What? And what else?
Whose shoes latchet I am not worthy to unloose.
Why? Because he tied him. Why would he unloose the latches on my shoes when he tied them together? so I can walk with my shoes on. Read verse 30.
This is he of whom I said, after me cometh a man which is preferred before me, for he was before me. Wow.
Now you got it. I was before him where? In the temple.
In the temple, right.
And stood before him several times. Got it? If I did not explain that, that's why his testimony is being dedicated to all of you of Yehuda, the fourth asses, that are going to observe Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread this coming Friday, beginning Friday. That's in 4 more sundowns from today. Right? Begin tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You come for tonight's sundown, you come to 4 more sundowns after tonight, including this one. You'll be at sundown Friday, which will be March 31st. And that would be also the daylight of April 1st, Saturday, April 1st. So where'd they get that from?
Right.
That's of their calendar. Or it'll be the 22nd day of our calendar, the first month. Where'd they get that from? And why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? What brought about the Passover in the first place? That's the question. First of all, let's prove from our himself that they said to come to Micah that there would be one to come after him, that they should go to while he was in prison. They recorded something. Go to YouTube for a moment. And I posted yesterday, which was on that calendar, Monday, March 27th, 2023. I posted on social media's Facebook that they should go to this book added to the post, and which is actually a recording of lesson number 5 of our true history, world's best kept secret. You are not a Niger, a nigger, a region. You are not a region. Backward, a region. And they're not a region, so you think it's nigger. You forget to go from right to left. And when you go from right to left, that's REGGIN, which is a homophone for region. You're not a region. Then you should come to be a region. But they don't want to be a region. They'd rather remain a nigger. And you think that it's the world's best kept secret. You think it's the world of this world. It's not. The region is our secret. It's this world's best kept secret of our true history. Our true history. Our world's best kept secret. See, he didn't say planet. There are many worlds on this planet, but there's one world, and that's this world's best kept secret, the region. But they wouldn't. My father told me this morning, and even last night, they're not going to open that up because you put that up there. If there was one who was putting it up that was going to have a summit this coming summer, then they'll open it up and they'll even go to it. But because you put it up, son, they're not going to open that up. Well, because they spit on you. They spat on you, they spit on you, they crucified you. They crucified you. But my aunt wrote a book and said in that book, now this time they won't. I'm going to show you. You don't even know what Passover is for. And yet he already passed over. That's why we recognize Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread. But you have that recording? Play that at a certain point, and then we're going to end at a certain point. Let them hear the voice. Let them hear that what my aunt said to them back in the 90s in a recording. This recording. Go ahead.
Going to be so terrible for this white Gentile and those so-called black people of America that love the wickedness of America, that Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 3 says, and death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remain in the places where I have driven them, says the Lord of hosts, Yahweh. Jeremiah chapter 7, verses 15 and 16 says, and I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all of your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Isn't that a terrible day? Things will be so bad that it will do you no good to pray. Why? for rejecting our God Yahweh. When you had a chance to accept His truth, you did not. This is when you will fulfill Revelation chapter 6, verse 16, when you will be crying to the mountains.
Pause that for a moment. My op said you had a chance to accept this truth, but you did not. You rejected it. That goes for all of those that was in His face before Him. All those that was before Him in those days in the temple. He was telling them who He is. They rejected it. They did not accept it, just like they do not accept it, who He is today. And that is one of several reasons why they're still calling Him Yahweh, Ben Yahweh. Let it play on. I have to point out these things to you. Let it play.
Fall on us, and hide us from the face of Him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of His wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Don't forget, we are warning you that there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time before the creation of the earth. Nothing has been this bad since the creation of the earth. And at that time, thy people, the so-called blacks of America, shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. What book? The Lamb's book of life. My book. Yahweh ben Yahweh's book.
Now you have the Lamb's book of life. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. Did you hear me? My father just said on that recorded back in the 1990s, everyone that is found written in the book. What book? The Lamb's book, my book, Yahweh ben Yahweh's book, the Father's book, the Son of Yahweh's book. I didn't reveal this to those who were with me yesterday, but I'm going to reveal it today because now the whole world should know. I even brought you a hint of it. Back in the days when He was here with us in the temple, He wrote a letter. And we were to copy that letter and His handwriting exactly the way it was. That's Yahweh's book. And some took several times to write that letter exactly the way He wrote it in His handwriting. His handwriting, not printing, not printed on a printing press. Or you think of the Bible, you think the names are written in the Bible. There are no names. There's not one name written in this Bible, not one. All the names that you see in the Bible that you have in your possession were printed on a printing press with ink, with a machine, whether it was manual or electrical. My Ab had you to write with your own handwriting to match his handwriting a letter, and when you sent that letter in, if he approved it, if it was a match as close to it as you can get it, he approved it. And he sent you back a name, or he told you what your name is. That's Yahweh's letter, His Lamb's book. But now you have Ben Yahweh. That means you must now write another letter by the Son Yahweh, His book, written by your handwriting, and put in His book, because that book that my father have, he took with him. Oh, you didn't know that? That book he took with him, right in his mind. He took that book with him. That book was taken up with him a long time ago. Back in 1992, that book was up. But now you have another book. See, when he wrote his book, and you wrote that letter, there was not a time of trouble yet. There was not a time of trouble like there was not since there was a nation, even to the same time. That was back in the 1980s. But you have to fulfill Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, and here comes that time. Like that has not been since there was a nation to this same time, because you have not seen everyone on this planet wearing a mask to go outside. And a plaguing this whole planet. You have not seen tornadoes. You have not seen California look the way it does today to experience such weather. You have never seen a snow in Africa or in the desert. You've never seen snow covering camels. Even as I said it would happen. I say it out of my mouth, and it happens. There's a man of God that everything comes out of his mouth comes to pass, whose name is known in the Bible as Saul. There used to be Samuel. But Samuel was told in the ear of God to turn it over to Saul. But you didn't know that. So now you are being faced to write another letter exactly the way the Son of Yahweh writes. So your name could be written in the Lamb's book of life that would then be handed to my Father with his book of life. If you do not believe that, then go and find my Father today and ask him, where's your letter? Since you think he's still here somewhere, who's going to fulfill the rest of prophecy? Who's standing up today for the children of our people, not the people, the children? And there are children here with me right now I'm standing up for. If you don't believe that, go ask Miami-Dade County. Go ask the Department of State, Children, Family, whatever they call it, the Children Welfare, Department of Children and Families. Go ask them if I'm not standing up for my children, the children of thy people. You didn't know the mystery. He said it, but they didn't hear it. That's why I put on a post yesterday. Did you ever hear this? And then I put a D on last night that you should have heard it by now. I added the D on last night. Did you not? Have you heard it? Still, they're listening right now. I can't hear it. My book, Yahweh Ben Yahweh's book, the Lamb's Book of Life. Now, when we finish with that, we're gonna show them what that is in Revelation chapter 21 and verse 27.
Wow.
I think it's verse 27. Go ahead, let it play. Let it play.
Yes, dearly beloved. And Daniel chapter 12, verse 2 will be fulfilled, which says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. This sleep is referring to your mental sleep. The dust refers to the worthlessness and the evilness of this society that you find yourselves living in the ghettos, taking drugs and the useless, vain conversations that take place, all the immoral and wicked conversation that takes place among our people living in the ghettos and in the cities of America. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 24 says, and they that reject the truth shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, Yahweh. For there.
Now, when you read that on your own, the last chapter and the last verse of Isaiah, you will see me, the noun me, even the pronoun me, followed by a colon. That colon is symbolized with two dots, one to the top, one to the bottom. My Ab said me, Yahweh. You're not going to see the Lord in that Bible. He's telling him in every colon that he's Yahweh, and that he's up. There's a dot up and there's a dot one down. That will be done on the planet as it is above in New Jerusalem. Me. Me is also known as Mem Yod in Hebrew, which is the first part of Mika. Mika, Mem Yod, Kaf He, Mika. Or Mem Yod, Kaf Yod Wav He, Mika Yahweh. Well, I just told him he's Yahweh in the recording. Did they hear it? It'll continue.
Worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Everybody will hate them. And we see that right now exhibited. Everybody on the earth hates the so-called black man of America. All the nations of the earth despise the so-called black man of America. Have you ever wondered why? Have you ever considered why?
Now, that's one tone of his voice. If you were listening, if you could hear it, he's asking a question with a certain tone of his voice. When we resume, you're going to hear a change, as if he paused it, as we just did, and came back to continue. He's going to give a special warning to all false Christians That's all of you who are false, who say you're following Christ, and you're not, because you think that Christ is Mika. But if you knew if you think that Christ, although the Christ is Yahweh, but Yahweh, you're following him, but you're false because you're not following the true Christ. My Father is not the Christ. So for all you false Christians, now he's going to tell you who the Christ is in the same breath. Let it resume.
Here is a special warning to all you false Christians in Milcah chapter 5, verses 8.
Now he took you to Milcah. Write it down. M-I-L, from left to right. From left to right. M-I-L-C-A-H. Milcah. He just busted Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13 in your face. You didn't even know it. Because first of all, common sense alone, if you study, even if you are just a little bit of a baby scholar, should know that there was no book in the King James Version Bible called Milcah.
Exactly.
But there is one in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. There will be a God right in the middle of you. There's a God right in the middle of Mika. The L symbolizes the L. If you remove that L, you have Mika. But that L is a homophone for a short version of Elohim. Turn to Mika, the God who I left behind. The second dot that's to the bottom of me. But they didn't hear that. They're still looking for Milcah today. It is not the variation of a woman, although they're following women today. They're following women going to their summits and going to their feasts today. They'd rather have a woman as a Messiah. And yet you're supposed to turn to Mika, the God of the earth. But they're not. He take you to Mika and then start reading Amos, who you also prefer to be with the woman. And then at the same time, he going to tell you that's what Mika said. But you think the Lord of the day of the Lord Yahweh is a desire. And you're going to hear that in it too. Let it play. Let's see. Let it play. Turn the Milcah.
19, it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahweh. To what end is it for you?
Pause. Woe unto you that do what?
Desire.
Desire the day of the Lord Yahweh. What good is it for you? Yeah, you're supposed to desire it. You think you desire it, but you don't desire me. There's Saul right there. Saul.
Desire.
Let it play on.
As you cry for the day of the Lord in your churches, what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness.
Pause. That darkness comes from Genesis chapter 49 and verse 27. At night. The darkness. Divide the day from the night. It's darkness. And that darkness is also a part of the Passover that you came out of Egypt by night. You already came out of Egypt. Now you got to come out of America. So what are you doing passing over again? You passed over. What are you doing passing over again? Play a little bit more.
Don't know what you're crying for. Did you know you're crying for darkness? That's what Micah chapter 5, verses 18 and 19 says.
That's it. You went to Milcah. He telling you Micah. The L in the middle of Micah, the God. That's what Micah said, reading from Amos. But they're still so hard-headed. They don't. Because I'm presenting this as a thesis today, a testimony. They're not going to accept this. And that is one of several reasons why they're going to die. They're unbelievers. Now go back to your screen and go to Revelation chapter 21. Let's see if that's true. Names are found written in the book. Revelation chapter 21, read verse 8. They're going to die. unbelievers.
Mhm.
He said that in the same recording. They could listen. You can listen to that on your own. You can listen to the rest on your own because you're not going to hear it. You can listen to it, but you're not going to hear it. That's all you do. Listen. You listen to what anybody have to say. You even listen to them on Facebook as they're writing. You listen to the words they're writing. You follow each other on Facebook, doing what you think is right in your own eyes. That means your eyes are looking. You think it's right, so you go to it. They invite you to a gathering, you go to it. Even if you fly to it, you go. You come to it. Why? Because they say Yahweh ben Yahweh. You think you're doing what's right. That's all you know. Never met him face to face. You never even looked at his face. You never stood before him. You never came before him.
That's true.
Never came before him, but yet you follow him because you got tired of Jesus in the church. So somebody presented to you Yahweh, and you looked it up. They tell you, yeah, that's the covenant God of Israel. Yeah, there is no such God named Yahweh of Hebrew.
Mhm.
The Hebrew name of God is not Yahweh.
So, right.
If you want to go follow someone, then you might as well go follow Charles Russell and be one of his witnesses.
Yeah.
Read it.
Revelation 21:8 quote,
What?
but the fearful and
They're
unbelieving.
afraid to. They are afraid to leave their congregation of what they will say. You leaving? Oh, you're going to go follow Mika now, huh? And they said, I want to go. I want to defect. But I'm afraid of what they will say if they catch me over there with Mika and they see me taking a picture in front of the house. I'll be with them wearing purple. I'll be wearing purple with them. And they said, look where he went. He left here. She left here. Went all the way down there to be with Mika. Wearing purple. Fearful. But I'm not going to do it because I don't want them to gang on me. They may gang up on me. So I'm afraid to go. Anyway, sorry, Mika. I can't come.
Yeah.
I don't want to be ganged up on. I'm afraid. I may lose my children. Some may say I may lose my kids. No.
Mhm.
Read on.
And unbelieving.
Those who don't believe. I don't believe. I don't care what he say. He uses Yahweh ben Yahweh tapes and videos to try and prove himself as somebody. He ain't nobody. There will be nobody after Yahweh ben Yahweh. I don't care what he say. I don't care what the Bible say. That's his Bible anyway. My Bible don't say that. My Bible don't say that. There's somebody coming after me who you prefer before me. My Bible don't say that. I have the NIV Bible. He may use the King James Version Bible. He can use the King James Version Bible, but I'm gonna use the NIV Bible. My NIV Bible don't say that. It say nobody's coming after me. I'm God and there's no one else. Never again. Period. See the period. See the period right here. Read on.
And the abominable
Mm-hmm.
and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers.
Whoremongers and sorcerers.
Yeah.
And idolaters.
Idolaters.
Good gracious.
Oh.
And what?
And all liars.
Those only some of them.
And all liars shall have their
My
part.
have a video on that too.
Yeah.
Of New Jerusalem coming down. They shall have what?
Shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire
and brimstone, which is the second death. But there are a group that will not get into that. They will not be a part of that. That group is found in the last verse. What the last verse is? What number is the last verse?
27.
Are you serious?
Wow.
27? That says what?
And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination,
What?
or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
Oh. Will have life. You don't know how to get your name written in the Lamb's book of life. You have to come here and get the ink pen and the purple paper, the dark color purple paper, and get your name written. Actually, I have one. I'll show you. You have to come and get the purple paper and get the ink that has silver ink and gold ink and write it. You have to write your name inside the Lamb's book of life. You have to come here and write it.
Wow.
You have to write it. You have to write exactly like that. Huh? Yeah, you can't, no Xerox copies. The only way you could be accepted as a Xerox copy is if you were Xerox copied.
Right.
And that means you'll be classified to the sociologist as a robot. I pray they can hear this. So why are you following those who are going to be looking at some Passover this week? You heard my arm said, turn to Mika. But yeah, you want to turn to them. What's the cause? What causes Passover anyway? What's the cause of it? Turn to Matthew chapter 26. What started Passover? In fact, before you get to that, you got to go to the law. Go to Leviticus chapter 23. What you doing with Feast of Passover and unleavened bread? Read Leviticus chapter 23, start at verse 1. Mika is also known as the Christ.
It's true.
If you had a very good Bible and you had a concordance in the middle of that Bible, and you go to New Testament, several verses of the Gospels, it'll take you to a reference that takes you back to the book called Mika as the Christ. I did it. I got the Bible. I know it. I don't have to go there to know it. I knew it. I knew it as I was growing up. I was someone that was different. Start at verse 1, Leviticus chapter 23.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1, quote, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying," verse 2, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them,"
what?
"Concerning the feast of the Lord."
One feast?
Feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feast.
Oh, so you got more than one feast. Read verse 2.
Verse 3.
Verse 3.
6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
How's that a feast? What?
And holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Verse 4. Now that means that there's a certain feast coming up that each day of that feast is a Sabbath. There's 7 days, 7 Sabbaths. Read it. Read verse 4.
Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord. Even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
That's a period. That means someone's about to do some wickedness for themselves to write themselves in, and also throw off the children of Israel for breaking the law. Read verse 5 and see.
And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
Who say so? Read verse 6.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
Right, you must eat it. Even put mustard in there. You must eat it. Verse 7.
And the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Verse 8.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
That's Leviticus. That Leviticus is supposed to be the book of the law that Shiloh gave. But where was this first printed? Printed, also redacted, and changed. Why? Because they knew that Shiloh was coming back to give the law to not only the children of Israel, but to the tribe called Yehuda, Judah. They knew that. And they also knew that my father was coming back to wake up Judah and let them know who he is and what they're supposed to be doing. Although this is over, that's passed over. But yet, when they do that, then they're going to recognize Passover on the 14th day of the first month, according to Leviticus here, 23. Now go back to Exodus chapter 12 for a moment. Go back to Exodus chapter 12. Make a note of what you're reading now. This is very important. This is being dedicated to all those who came before me. Start at verse 1. Exodus chapter 12.
Exodus 12:1, quote, "And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying," verse 2, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months."
What month? What month? It said this month. What month? Well, let's not be confused. Go back to chapter 11 for a moment.
Mhm.
Chapter 11. Start at verse 8. There's only 10 verses. Is that right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, read verse 8.
Exodus 11:8, quote, "And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great anger." Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt.
Okay. What's going on here?
My bad, right?
Go up to verse 3.
Verse 3, quote, "And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people."
Verse 4.
"And Moses said, Thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt."
Midnight. They're like 12 o'clock. Like they're looking and observing the clocks today. It's a new day. But this is in the middle of the night. But what month? Read verse 5.
Verse 5. "And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts."
This is supposed to be a Passover coming up. Verse 6.
"And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was not like it, nor shall be like it any more.
Verse 7.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog
Not
move
even a
his
dog
tongue."
move his tongue. Not even a dog against man or beast. That what?
"That ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel."
Now, why do you have a dog today? Hebrew Israelites do not have dogs. That's a public announcement I'm making today on the social media on this recording. No Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of any tribe is supposed to have a dog as a best friend or the worst friend. We do not have dogs. You do not have dogs in your house. What you look like having a dog in your house and they on the bed with you, the same bed you have to lay on, and a dog licking your face in the kitchen when you eating what you eating. You have a dog sitting at the table with you eating as if it's a family member. You have a dog in a shopping cart with a dress on, shopping at Walmart, with a necktie on and a suit on. You have a dog dressed up in a man's suit in a shopping mall with shoes on. I'll have a video on that too. Just treat me like the dog. You take a dog to church. You put a dog on a first class on a commercial airliner, and first class licking people's feet in first class and making a noise as if it's hungry to get a first class meal that you paid for. The flight attendant bring you a first class meal and asks you what you want. She brings it to you. You give it to the dog. I'm not making this up. I sat right next to one in first class by my foot. And was getting more attention. She called the flight attendant to bring something for her and give it to the dog right there in the little bag. And I guarantee you, she do not have a husband. A dog. Read verse 8.
"And all these thy servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great anger."
9.
"And the Lord said unto Moses,
See who's in control? What?
Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt."
Right. 10.
"And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land."
That's what's going on today. But I'd like to know what month. We couldn't find it in chapter 11. What month is this? Now go back to chapter 12 and I still don't see what month. Read verse 2 again.
This month
What month? Shall what?
shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
What month? It looks like something was missing. Something missing they did not add in chapter 12 of Exodus. Verse 3.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month.
What month? Shall what?
They shall
Now we have the 10th day. What happened to the 14th day? On the 10th day, they want you to do what?
They shall take to them every man a lamb.
Every man a lamb. Over 500 men. Let's not deal with 500,000. Right? There were over 500,000 men in Egypt. Look how many there is in America today, United States. Men of Judah. There were 50 million people of Judah here. Now, can we find 50 million lambs? How about 20 million? Let's just say 30 million women, 20 million men. Where are we going to find a lamb for every man today? On the 10th day, we still don't know what month. The first month. Okay, it should be the first month. Read on.
According to the house of their fathers.
See, according to the fathers. What?
A
A lamb for a house. Let's just deal with the house. Forget about the people. Let's say we got 500 houses. That's just one little city, one area. Can we find 500 lambs? And each one of the houses of our people will agree that Yahweh is their God, that we're going to observe Passover, and we have a barbecue. Now we'll have a better chance if it was 4th of July. But they still gonna want pork and not lamb. 4th of July or Memorial Day or Labor Day, they still gonna want pork, a pig, not lamb. Read verse 4.
And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
One lamb. For many houses now, the poor lamb. Verse 5.
Your lamb shall be without blemish.
Now you're going to see no blemish on this lamb with all that woolly hair on the scale. No blemish. Now don't forget, this is woolly hair that's covering the body of that lamb. You will be able to see that the lamb has no blemish. Now even if you shave the hair off, that lamb is going to have no blemish. And a male of the first year, how you know when the lamb was born? Of the first year. You should take it out from the sheep. And I thought a sheep was lamb.
Right.
But that's a male lamb. You got she goats, she goats. Or from the goats. Verse 6.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day.
Keep what up? See, they give you 14th day of the same month. And here you are starting Passover. And you haven't even got your lamb and eaten it for 10 days. You haven't even started barbecuing it yet. That you're supposed to take on the 10th day. Now here we are approaching the 14th day that they counted from March 10th, and they do not have a lamb yet. Have they started eating the lamb? Are they saving the refrigerator until Friday? Coming up? After they barbecued, invite the whole nation of people to come and go online and give them the website and sign up now and get your feast package. Because we got the lamb waiting on you that we started on the 10th day. Whatever month it is. It just said the first month. It's still the name of the month. We are in Exodus, didn't name the month yet. Read verse 6.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month.
Who? And
the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it.
I thought it was already dead. Now you're just killing the lamb. Don't forget now, this is like 500,000 lambs. But each house got to do exactly what they're supposed to do Simultaneously, you'll kill the lamb at a certain time of the clock. You kill a lamb, or you're going to take the lamb with you to Texas to the feast. Like they take the dogs to the airport and put the dog on the plane. Now you got lambs going through security. To take to Texas or Georgia, wherever you're going to recognize the feast of Passover, you ought to take a lamb. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it right and do what the Bible say do. And take your lamb and no pork and nothing from the meat market. It's got to be a whole lamb with no blemish. You want to do it? You want to do what you think is right in your own eyes, so do this.
Right.
Because there's no king in Israel in those days. Read on, verse 7.
And they shall take of the blood.
Now you're going to take the blood of the lamb before you kill it. After you kill it, take the blood and do what?
And strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat.
Now you can no longer have in a hotel. You got to go to the house now and have your lamb. And you got to strike the blood and put on the doorpost. You better pray that house have doorposts on it or posts. Can't be made out of wood. Read verse 8.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night.
Eat the flesh that night. What?
Roast
with fire.
And unleavened bread. And with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
Eat what? Okay, the lamb. Read verse 9.
Eat not of it raw.
Now don't be like the false Jews or the Gentiles. They like to have their meat rare. I strictly remember when I was younger and I was cooking in a public restaurant, and they ordered their meat, steaks. They actually told the waitress to tell the cook to just put it on for a few seconds, flip it over a few seconds, and give it to me. And they ate it raw. They call it bloody rare. Meat. Now they don't eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor what?
Nor sodden at all with water.
But what?
But roast with fire.
What?
His
head with his leg, the whole lamb. That they want you to do now. And
with the putenance thereof.
Even the inside, the gut. Now you're eating shitlings. You heard of pork shitlings, but now they got lamb shitlings. And you should what?
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire.
Could you imagine in verse 11?
And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet.
See, shoes on your feet, and
your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste.
Why?
It is the Lord's Passover.
You think you say Passover. It's his Passover. The Lord's Passover. Verse 12.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night.
Passed through, and he already passed over. That night, this same night. And what?
And will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
Verse 13.
And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt.
So what's the blood? You are that blood. You want to see no physical blood. When Op see you with me, here in this house, with the doorpost that's full of blood, that he will not smite this house and you in it. But everyone outside of it, he's going to get. He got back then. He's going to get them again today. But that's passed over. And leavened bread. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 16. What month? Here we read in Leviticus the 14th day of the month. It didn't even say Leviticus the first month, did it? No, it said the 14th day of the month. Read verse 1. Deuteronomy 16.
Deuteronomy 16:1 quote. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
Now, you came out of Egypt by night, the month of Abib. That's the first day. Let's read on and see if it says the 14th day.
Verse 2. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there.
Read on.
Verse 3. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste.
At night, at sundown. What on?
That thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out
The
of the
day,
land.
not days. The day at sundown of the first month of Abib. The first day of the first month of Abib, that they call Abib, it's not Abib. That's another appellation for Ab and the sun, the rod. For Ab, the rod, the middle, and the sun, the Beth at the end. I wrote a book on it. We're still waiting for it to come out of its final print. What else? Read on.
Of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. Verse 4.
Verse 4.
And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shall there any thing of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even.
The first day at even at Abib. Do you see it here? The first day at even of Abib. Remain all night until the morning. Read verse 5.
Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Verse 6. But at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in.
Right.
There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt.
Read on.
Verse 7. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose.
Well, he shall choose. And it's not a physical roast either. Read on.
And thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents.
8.
Verse 8. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt do no work therein.
Period. After verse 8. Period. Read verse 9.
7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn.
Stop. Where between verses 1 and 9 did we read 14 days? On the 14th day. Not once. I read on the first day of Abib. That's when it began. That means this past March 10th was the first day of our month that they call Abib, but it's not. It's the first month of our next year. The first day, the first month, the beginning of the months. And that's when we recognize our Passover feast of leavened bread. And here you see in verse 9, it said we were numbered 7 weeks. But each day of that observance became a Sabbath. And we lit our lamps every night to observe the Sabbath. All right? That's 7 Sabbaths. So where did they get the 14th day from? Now, that means we were to number 7 Sabbaths. But did you know that? Read verse 10.
Verse 10. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God, with a tribute of a freewill offering of thine hand.
So when is that? When is that supposed to be? They don't know. They're doing things they have no idea. They follow each other. Go back to Leviticus chapter 23. And read verse 15. Actually, we start at 14. Read at 14 so you can see that this is similar to, we just read verse 9 of Deuteronomy 16.
Verse 14, quote, And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God.
Read on.
It shall be a statute forever.
Not forever, but forever. Forever. Throughout what?
Throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
Where you're dwelling right now. Read verse 15.
And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
Read verse 16.
Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord.
Now, go to your calendar, go to your screen, your Google, and pull up the 2023 calendar. Ma ascended with that vessel that from that vessel he used for 72 years. He ascended on May 7th, 2007. May 7th, 2007. That's recorded history. He ascended from that vessel he used and left that vessel that had it cremated. That was a sign. That date he chose as a sign, and that was the biggest supernova that existed at that time. In history. That was the biggest supernova that ever they saw on this planet on that day. That date. Here you read, we got to count 7 Sabbaths, 50 days. So I shortened the days years ago. He also put that. So do you have your calendar? Do you see March the 10th, which is Friday? Then you see March the 11th, is Saturday. That became our new first day of Deuteronomy chapter 16. The new first day. And you count one. From Friday to Saturday is one. Right?
Yeah.
Now, when you count from 1, Saturday, Sunday, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm looking at Saturday, March 18th as 8 days. That's 1 week. Now we start counting the Sabbath. That's 8. Now you start counting 50 days from there. That means from Saturday, the 18th, to Sunday is 1 day, the 19th. So that's 1. Count with me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And show me backwards at 31 on March 31st. 13. That means from Friday, March 31st to this coming Saturday, March 1st is 14 days. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I have Monday, April 17th as 30. Now I'm going to continue from Monday, April 17th to Tuesday, April 18th will be 1 or 31. 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. On Thursday, the 27th, 41, 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At sundown Saturday is the end of 9, May 6th. And from May 6th to May 7th Sunday is 50. 50 days that we'll be looking at May 6th at sundown Saturday will be the beginning of 50 days from March 10th, from March 18th, which means that somebody got the right time. Somebody know what they're doing and following the order of the celestial lodge. That would make, and that will also make 16 years, the 60th anniversary that my arm ascended. There's going to be another big supernova, the year Jubilee. You can go ahead and follow those if you'd like that want to take their money from you and rob you. Go to Matthew 26 as we close. Why are you recognizing Passover anyway? What is Passover? Where did it come from? The Christians tell you it's called a passion. The passion play. It's supposed to be the time when Christ was crucified. Not when you came out of Egypt. That's what they think. That's what you think. You got Matthew 26.
Yeah.
Go to, see, you have to know why you were told to come to a certain man in a city in the first place. Read verse 18. We started at 17.
Matthew 26:17, quote, Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to the Christ, saying unto him,
You hear this? What?
Where wouldst thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover?
See how they could see what they put into the book, the prayer? In verse 18,
And he said,
go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. What? Verse 19.
And the disciples did as the Christ had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12.
With 12, all 12 tribes. All 12. And
Verse 21. And as they did eat, he said,
verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Judah, of the 12 tribes, supposed to keep the law. Judah was chosen to be the ruler, but Judah going to betray me. They add the S on there because then, by then again, Judah would be in the west with sin and not shin. That's why they took the H off and put S. They'll be not only in the west, but they'll be in the south. In Miami, Judas. Read verse 22.
And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? Verse 23. And he answered and said,
He that dippeth his hand, dippeth, not dippeth, dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. So what's dippeth and what's the dish? There's no dish. Dippeth means you're not going to accept the bowl of soup that I'm giving you. You're not going to accept it. That dish is a bowl that was found in Zechariah on the top of the candlestick, all of gold. You're not going to accept it. The Son of Man goeth as is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born for him to betray me. It'd been better off he not been born. Read verse 25.
Then Judas.
See Judas? Judas, the serpent in the south, in the west, the snake. What? Read on.
Which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I?
See, he opened up his mouth and revealed himself.
He said unto him,
See, thou said it. You already know it. Thou hast said it. Why would you open your mouth like that and reveal it to everybody else?
Right.
Read on.
Verse 26. And as they were eating, the Christ took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to it.
That's the word. That's not physical bread.
Okay.
And see, that's the bread. That's the leavened bread. They say unleavened bread. The bread is not physical for you either way. It's either bread that rises or bread that's flat. And the words of false prophets in this country, in this land, on this planet, all flat. It's all lies. But the bread that I give you is bread that was rise. I bought with me from heaven, from above. Manna, that if you eat this bread, you will live. So take it, and they eat. This is my body. See my body? Same came right back, the body. I take the cup and give it thanks, and this is my blood. Drink it of the new heaven, the new earth, the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins, my blood. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's house, his kingdom. And here we are. I promise. Look at verse 55. 55, when I was about 55 years old in 1990. Actually, and 1990 or 1985, it was 55. Or was no, it's 40. 45. So 55 would have been what, 19? Mm-hmm. In that same hour,
In that same hour said the Christ to the multitudes,
are you come out as against a thief? Why you come after me with swords, with staffs, for to take me? What have I done to you? I mean, I sat with you teaching you in the temple, and you laid no hand on me at all back then. You believed everything I was saying. But all this was done that what?
the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
What was that? What would that be? These read on, you're going to see.
Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. Verse 57.
Mm-hmm.
And they that had laid hold on the Christ led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest,
And what happened?
where the scribes and the elders were assembled.
And Peter came, and Peter followed me for a while. He even came to see the kingdom. Him and his wife. They even followed me afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants, even to the end. Is that not true? You met Peter? Read verse 62. Verse 62.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee?
What was he supposed to answer? Go back up to read 59 and see what we were supposed to answer.
Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against the Christ.
There were false witnesses against him. Read on.
To put him to death.
Yeah, they just lied. You don't like him, so we're going to make up something false. He robbed 2 banks and killed 2 people. It's a lie. I don't know. You believe us. Don't believe him. He's a liar. Read on.
Verse 60. But found none. Yea, though many false
There's
witnesses
no proof. We didn't see
came,
nobody. Nobody report no bank robbery today. Nobody being killed. But what else?
yet found they none.
Mm-hmm.
At the last came 2 false witnesses. Verse 61.
Mm-hmm.
And said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days.
Now you're in Daniel chapter 9 and verse 26. Uh-huh.
Verse 62.
Uh-huh.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing?
I mean, you heard you say you could do? You're not going to say nothing? You know that? What?
What is it which these witness against thee?
Uh-huh.
Verse 63. But the Christ held his peace.
Didn't say a word.
And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. Verse 64. The Christ said unto him,
Thou hast said it. Why you want me to say it? You said it. You must know it. You had to have a reason for saying it. That must mean you know it. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, as the desire, as Benjamin. The right hand of power is Benjamin, and coming in the clouds of heaven of New Jerusalem. Verse 65.
Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy.
66.
What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death.
And then verse 67.
Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands.
They smote the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. Now go to Micah chapter 5 so you can see what that was. And look at verse 1. This is the same one. Micah is the Christ. And this is what they said that the scripture may be fulfilled. And this is scripture that may be fulfilled. That they had to smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. They hit him with his fist. And they crucified him. They slew him with rocks. They stoned him to death, not nailed him on a cross. That's your Passover.
Micah 5:1. Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter.
And they did, right around there, the Golgotha. And what?
He have laid siege against us.
Right. And
They
what?
shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek.
And they did. The crucifixion. That means the Lord is your Passover, and you don't even know why you're celebrating Passover. Now read that as we close. I hope they have a nice day after this. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5, is it? Read 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7 so they can wake up. But I don't know, they don't want to wake up. They love sleeping.
1 Corinthians 5:7.
Yeah.
Purge out, therefore, the old leaven.
They're not going to do that. They're getting ready to celebrate now. They all getting all this stuff together and some packing their bags.
Yeah.
Check with the airline to make sure everything's still on. And what?
That ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
That's what that's what Passover is, the crucifixion. He sacrificed for you. I sacrificed for you. You're still looking for my Father. Keep looking. Keep looking for him to come back. For you, just the way he was, and then you cook a meal for him. Cook dinner for him, have it ready. You don't want your sovereign steak soiled hands anyway. Praise Job. I pray that they receive this message today. It's recorded. Take your time and look at it. I revealed some more secrets today, didn't I?
So did.
Well, go ahead and do your Passover. Go ahead and do your thing. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Go where you want to go. Eat what you want to eat. Drink what you want to drink. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve and observe and obey our the Lord God Yod. Praise Yod.